Hi everybody and welcome to the Makeup Hunter. For today's video I thought I would share with you the collective haul of items that I had for Christmas and purchased myself at the end of 2020. I was on a spending ban for the last few months of 2020, so I had quite a bit of makeup for Christmas, and then in between Christmas and New Year I purchased a few things off my wish list. So there's a fair few items here, but it is a collective haul of presents and things that I purchased myself. So if you would like to see the items that I got for Christmas and purchased myself at the end of 2020, then please keep watching. This is probably going to be a long video, so I would recommend getting a drink, maybe a snack. I have a gin and tonic. This is violet gin and elderflower tonic with a couple of slices of lemon. So we're gonna chill, have a drink and talk about makeup. Cheers. So I'm going to start with eyes first of all. I think that's kind of, eyes and lips is always the most fun, and that is, to be honest, that's pretty much all I've got here bar one item. So we'll start with eyeshadow palettes first of all, and I'll start with the ones that I purchased myself. So towards the end of 2020 I really started getting into smaller palettes. I wanted some palettes that I didn't really have to think too much about, that I could literally just grab. My options were limited, do an eye look, be done. So I wanted some either duos or quads, and I'd heard a lot of really good things about the Viseart Petit Fours that they brought out in 2020. They came out, I think it was sort of towards the end of the year. I'd never tried Viseart shadows before. I'd always heard really good things, but there was never any particular colour story that really stood out to me until I saw the Petit Fours. The two out of the four that I picked up were Praline and Framboise, which is French for raspberry, I think. So I'll start with the Framboise first of all. They are tiny, tiny palettes. I mean, if I hold up a lipstick, this is just a NARS lipstick, you can see sort of how small they are. They're not even as tall as the NARS lipstick. But that's really what I wanted. I just wanted something that I could grab, whack a couple of colours on the eye and be done with it for travelling, overnight stays. Who knows when we'll be able to do that again, but that was the idea I had. So this one, as I say, is the Framboise. It's just four lovely rose, pink, raspberry colours. You've got two mattes and two shimmers. I absolutely love this. This was the one I wanted the least. The two others were sold out at the time. There was a cool toned one that I really wanted, but I couldn't find that anywhere. It was sold out everywhere, so I thought I'd get this as an alternative because I do like pinky colours, but the colours in this didn't really speak to me until I got it and started using it, and it is the one that you can see I've used it quite a bit. I'm wearing some of it on my eyes today. I've got the two mattes on my eyes today, as well as some other colours. I have filmed most of this look, which will probably be my next video. The only thing I've done is change the lip from that video, but the eyeshadow and everything else is exactly the same. So what I love about this palette is the two matte shades. the lightest matte is the perfect transition shade for me. It's just slightly deeper than my skin tone, and I can really blow it out without it looking too intense, too severe. It just works onto my eye just perfectly. And I also think the pinky tones really bring out the green in my eyes. So I absolutely love this one. The thing that I least like about this palette is the shimmers. Even though they are absolutely stunning, they have a lot of glitter particles packed into them. So if you buff them onto the eye, the glitter goes everywhere. I have discovered with using other Viseart shadows now that the shimmer shades do go on best with the finger, but even with a finger these ones have massive glitter fallout. They are incredibly effective, so intense, and the colour, especially behind the deeper one, is stunning. But you do really need to use a glitter glue unless you're quite happy to have glitter, quite a lot of glitter fallout. So that is the Framboise. I'm not going to do swatches of everything in this video because frankly I'll be here all night, but I will just sort of swatch a few as I go. So I'll just swatch the pink shimmer for you. I mean, it's absolutely gorgeous, but there is a lot of silver glitters within it, and they just don't stick. With nothing behind them, they don't stick down. Those will fall out. I mean, I'm not sure how well it's going to pick up on camera, but this sparkle is really intense. It's really beautiful. So that is the Framboise palette. Okay, the next little mini Viseart palette that I got is the Praline one, and this is exactly the type of thing that I was looking for. Just a neutral, bang in the middle, not cool, not warm, just a very neutral browns palette that I just knew would be easy to pull a look from. And this palette is just perfect. It's exactly what I was looking for. I have used this, but I haven't used it as much as the Framboise palette. I've only really used these two shimmer shades here. In this one there are 3 shimmers and 1 matte. There's one that's more of a satin shimmer, and then the other 2 are more of a metallic and glitter formula. So those are the colours. That's the satin one. That one has quite a lot of glitter, and that's more of a metallic. But the formula of these is just stunning. I'll swatch the satin from this. This is my favourite from this palette. It's like a go with anything taupe. It's just so gorgeous, and I think praline is the perfect word to describe it. So I don't really have too much to say about this palette. I mean, it's just a quad of neutral browns. But if you have been wondering about Viseart shadows, and like me was a little bit put off on the price and the colour stories, these are an excellent way to sort of try the formula. And I have, which I'm about to share, a larger Viseart palette, and I can, you know, be straight up and say that the formula in the smaller palettes is exactly the same as in the larger palettes. So that brings me nicely to the next palette, which is the Mink Set Attendu. I keep saying Entendu, but it's Attendu. And this is the first Viseart palette that the colour story just jumped right out at me. As soon as I saw the sneak peeks of this palette, I just knew that I had to have it. It is right up my colour story. So it is basically warm browns, peaches, and then you've got some sort of deep plummy tones here. The formula of this is incredible. The shimmers in this palette are completely different to the glittery shimmers in the smaller Petit Four palettes. These are more of a silky, traditional shimmer. They definitely go on better with a finger. Today I have all over my lid this one here, and I just used my finger and put that across my lid and above the crease. This peachy shade here it's not a matte and it's not a shimmer, it's a perfectly beautiful satin. It's a lovely peach colour, and I have actually used this in the crease as a transition shade, and it works perfectly fine. It sort of performs like a matte rather than a shimmer. Now the one thing I will say about, I'm not sure whether you're going to be able to see it, it's this one here. The one thing I will say about the Viseart formula is they are very pigmented, so they do have quite a lot of kick up in the pan. That doesn't bother me. I'd rather have a pigmented shadow that has kick up than one that's hard pan and doesn't give any, you know, is pressed too hardly and doesn't give any pigment on the eye. You can probably see just from sort of doing that one swatch, there is quite a bit disturbed in the pan. But these are just beautiful. I mean, that's like the satin formula, and then you've got the more traditional shimmer. This is the bronze from the corner. I mean, they're just so gorgeous, and they feel so creamy. I mean, that's literally just one swipe. They're such a good formula, and I now know the hype is real on Viseart shadows, and I'm so glad I decided to get this palette. Okay, next up for eyeshadow, we have my very first Victoria Beckham Beauty purchases. These were a real splurge for myself, sort of to celebrate getting towards the end of 2020 and the fact that I'd managed to do my low buy for, well, my no buy for a few months. It was like a Christmas present to myself, and I thought, you know, I've had so much Victoria Beckham Beauty on my list for such a long time that I just thought, perfect way to treat yourself. So I got two of the smoky eye bricks. Now what I will say about Victoria Beckham Beauty, these are much smaller than I expected them to be, compared to the Viseart palettes. They're slimmer and a little bit longer. Well, I kind of expected them to be small, but still when they showed up I was a bit like, whoa, they really are small. But the packaging is just beautiful. It's this gorgeous metal compact with like the tortoise shell design, and they feel super luxe. They really do feel like what they are, expensive makeup products. So the smoky eye bricks are her eyeshadow palettes. I got two. I got Tuxedo because I don't have anything like this in my collection. This is a cool toned smoky eye. As the name would describe, Tuxedo, it's a monochromatic, true monochromatic palette. I wanted something for when I wanted to be that bit sexier, a bit sultrier, and I wore this on New Year's Eve with a red lip, and I just felt like $1 million in my loungewear. But this formula is honestly, I mean, these palettes are like £50 for these little palettes, but I can honestly say they're worth it. I mean, you don't have to do any work with them. The shadows just blend themselves. These are all a sort of satin matte. When you look at them, there is sort of a, you can see the mica in there, the sort of shimmer running through. I'm not sure whether my hand's covered in glitter from the Viseart pink shimmer that I swatched. They are just beautiful. Like I say, the formula is impeccable. She did an absolutely amazing job with these shadows, so much so that it's turned me into a complete convert to her brand. I now understand why a lot of luxury makeup enthusiasts enthuse about Victoria Beckham Beauty, because the quality is just phenomenal. The one that I wanted desperately, that I knew 100% was on top of the list, was the shade Silk, which is the completely shimmery palette. These are just my tones. You've got your light gold champagne, you've got your true gold, you've got your shimmery chocolate, and then your bronze. And I just wanted these as topper shades for most of the types of eyeshadow looks that I do. I tend to do mostly mattes, and then I'll run a shimmer all over the lid and above the crease, and I thought these would be absolutely perfect. I haven't even swatched this yet. I mean, we're in the end of February and I had this before New Year, so you can tell how long I've had it and not touched it. But I am going to swatch it for you. I'll swatch the gold. I mean, they literally feel like butter. I've touched that so lightly and it's just beautiful. Absolutely beautiful, and it goes a long way as well. So yeah, I am a true Victoria Beckham Beauty convert, and will and have purchased more from the brand. Okay, next up in the eye category are the palettes that I got for Christmas. These were off my beautiful mum and dad, and my dad wasn't really involved much in the choosing of the items, but these items that my mum bought for me just show exactly how well she knows me. So the first one she got me was the holiday collection. It's the Dior Holiday Couture collection, and this is the sparkling couture palette. The packaging on this is stunning. It's like a faux leather, it's cushioned, and then it's got the Dior in the metal, and then inside is a decent sized mirror, and then the 5 shadows. These are all satin and shimmers, so you have the 2 middle shades are more of a satin, and then the first shade and the last 2 are more of a traditional shimmer. I've used this palette quite a few times already. It is exactly what I was talking about at the beginning of the video when I said I just wanted one that I didn't have to think about. The formula of this is stunning. I really do rate Dior. I've talked about Dior before in my videos. The shadow formula is just so easy to work with. It's not too pigmented, but it's pigmented enough. There's no hard pan or hard press to the shadows. You get enough product on your brush, but you don't get the kick up that you do with intensely pigmented shadows. You can keep blending and blending. It never looks too much, and the look that you get is just so soft and elegant. I absolutely love this palette. If I was working, it would be my daily work palette because the tones are just chef's kiss. This brown is so soft, but it is the perfect, it's not too cool, it's not too warm, and because it has that satin aspect, it just blends so easily. I mean, you can see that was just one dip, so you can see that they are pigmented enough, but you don't have loads of kick up and loads of fallout. So that is the Dior collection palette. I'm not sure if it's still available because obviously it was a holiday release, but that is just stunning. The next item I have is another Dior holiday release, and this is very similar to the Victoria Beckham silk. This was the Golden Nights Golden Snow palette. This was one of 2 that were released for Christmas, and it looks like this. It is incredible. I absolutely love Dior quints. I have quite a few of them now, and I just love them. They perform so lovely, and this, like the silk, the Victoria Beckham silk palette, is perfect as a topper palette. I used this the other day when I used all mattes in the crease. I used the Viseart larger palette, and then I used this peachy colour and the gold in the middle as a lid and a topper shade. They are like toppers. They are super silky smooth, but they do have quite a bit of multi-dimensional shimmer running through, and they just literally one dip with the finger and they really elevate an eye look. They just take it to that next level of glam, and I think that's why I love Dior makeup so much. It just, and the Victoria Beckham, it kind of just takes your makeup to that next level and just it does me anyway. It just makes me feel like a luxury bitch, and I just feel really good when I use them. So what I'll do is just compare the 2. So the Golden Snow and Silk from Victoria Beckham Beauty. A lot of people have said they're sort of like dupes for each other, but obviously one has 4 shades and one has 5. I wouldn't say that they are the same, because you've got like that olivey gold, the peach, and in here the silk is very gold based. So I do think they are different enough. I mean, obviously the one was a gift and the one I bought myself, and I bought the Victoria Beckham one after I had the Golden Snow, so they seemed different enough for me at the time, and having them both, I'm glad that I do have both. So that's the last eyeshadow palette. Sticking to the eye theme though, I have 2 more eye products to share. I purchased from Victoria Beckham Beauty when I got the palettes the eye diviner. It's the Satin Kajal liner in the bronze shade. This is the nicest eyeliner formula I have ever used, and I cannot wait for her to bring out more colours. She's just brought out another one, a cool toned one, and I think she's got with this one 4, so there'll be 5 now. I want a new one definitely, but this is bronze. It's like a khaki bronze. It's like a gel. It's like a wet gel when it goes on. When I first used it, I was quite shocked at how lightly I had to touch for the pigment to come off. And you can line your waterline with it, you can line your lash line, you can put it all over the lid if you want to and smudge it out. There is a smudger on the end, which I've used. This is just honestly an incredible eyeliner, and I am on a low buy at the moment, but I will be more than likely getting all of the others in the line because they are just the best. Once they dry down, they do not budge. They will stay all day. I mean, I've just smudged that one out. It does smudge and blend beautifully. You have got playtime with it, but once it dries down, it doesn't move, and it still has that shimmer to it and the rich pigment. Honestly, I'm going to do it again. Chef's kiss. Okay, last in the eye category we have mascara. This was a gift from my mum for Christmas, and she bought, it was in a duo with a miniature Dior 999 lipstick, which is the classic red that they do. So you got like a mini lipstick and the mascara. I'm not going to open the mascara because I don't want to let the air get into it. It's the Dior Show Pump and Volume. The brush, from the images I've seen online, look amazing. Right up my street. I like a big fat mascara wand. I have quite long lashes, so I do like a mascara that builds volume, and this looks amazing, but I'm trying not to open mascaras until I've used one up. So that's the mascara. Now we'll move on to the only face product that I have, which is another Dior Holiday Collection blush. This was again a gift from my parents. This is the Golden Nights blush from the Golden Nights collection. This is a stunning blush. I have it on my cheeks today. It's got a beautiful icicle and the CD logo embossed into it. It's just a really healthy pink. You know, you've just come in from the cold blush, but it's got quite a lot of shimmer through it, so you almost don't need to use a highlighter when you use this blush. I will swatch it. I'm not sure how well it'll pick up because it's just a light pink blush. But it's just absolutely gorgeous. Probably one of my favourite blushes now that I have in my collection. The formula of the Christian Dior blushes is just like the shadows. They're pigmented but not too pigmented. They really do pack a punch when they're on the skin. They blend into the skin beautifully, and I do really like a shimmery blush because I love the radiance and the glow that it gives to the cheeks. I mean, you can see I do have a little highlight on as well, but this blusher is just so nice, and like I say, the formula is just perfect. Definitely one of, if not the best blush I've got in my collection. Okay, and lastly we're on to the lip category, which I have the most products of lip products. So first of all, I got the Victoria Beckham lip definer with the, when I purchased the other items. This is the lip definer in shade 4. It's like my lips but better. It's a slightly deeper colour than my own lips. I have it on today with this red. Buying a lip liner in the same colour or slightly deeper than your own lips means you can pretty much wear them with any lip colour. I mean, this is a red, an orange red lipstick with this lip definer. It's a traditional pencil, so you do need to sharpen it, but the formula is super soft and creamy. They don't budge once they're on. They last for a really good amount of time on the lips. They're soft and you can smudge them in. When I apply lip liner, I like to apply it to the perimeter of my lips and then mush my lips together to help it sort of blend in and soften the line. And this is the perfect lip liner to do that. As I say, it's super creamy, but once it dries down, it stays. Then I have 2 lipsticks that my mum and dad got me for Christmas. These are again Dior. The packaging of these lipsticks is insane. These are the Dior-rific lipsticks. I'm not 100% sure what the difference is in the formula, but I have one from the regular line and then a special holiday edition one. So the holiday edition one is shade 72 shimmery red, and it has stamped all over it little snowflakes. It's a beautiful blue based red that leans a little bit purpley. I'm not sure how that's going to pick up on camera. The shimmer is all the way through it. It isn't just embossed on it. When you actually put this on the lips, the shimmer does show up. It's an absolutely beautiful classic red, and the formula of these lipsticks is extremely creamy but opaque and pigmented. They do last a decent amount of time on the lips for such a creamy lipstick. The next one I have is called Mitzar, or Mitzvah, no, Mitzar, and this is like, it looks like a purpley brown, but it is very much a classic mauve nude, like a rosy nude on the lip. So hydrating and comfortable to wear. I wore this on Christmas Day with something else over the top, with the Victoria Beckham lip liner. No, I didn't, because I didn't have the Victoria Beckham lip liner then. Anyway, I wore this on Christmas Day, and it was so comfortable, and it is just like, even though it's quite, it looks deeper on my hand, it is just sort of like my own lip colour. It's the perfect companion to the Victoria Beckham lip liner. Really love these lipsticks. I wouldn't have chosen either of them myself, which is why I love the fact that my mum bought me makeup and didn't get me what, she didn't ask me to write what I wanted down, she just went and picked them herself. And I love that, because I've got items that I wouldn't have necessarily picked myself in a million years, but are now some of the favourite items in my collection. Like, I would never have picked up the embossed palette, because they're nudes that I've probably already got in my collection, but it is now one of my favourite eyeshadow palettes. So I'm really impressed with how well she knows me, and that she surprised me as well. So I really love those. Another item that Mum and Dad got me, which again I would never have purchased myself, is the Dior lip gloss. This is in the shade 629 Mirrored. Now this lip gloss is, I'm not a lip gloss fan. I would never pick up a lip gloss and think, oh, I fancy wearing a lip gloss, because I just am not a lip gloss person. I don't like matte lips, but I love a satin creamy lipstick. But this lip gloss is so beautiful. It's a nude that is packed with multicolour shimmer. It's so comfortable, considering I hate gloss. This is more like a balm. It's as you can see, it's this one here. It's full of multi-dimensional reflex and just looks stunning on top of any lipstick. On Christmas Day I wore the Mitzar lipstick, which is that one, with the lip gloss over the top, and it was so comfortable, stayed on really well, and I just absolutely love this lip gloss. Okay, and lastly, we're coming to the end of the video now, are the lip products that I purchased myself towards the end of the year. I have shared in previous videos a couple of NARS lipsticks. I think I got Rouge Insolent and Ravishing Red, or Inappropriate Red. I think it was Ravishing Red. Anyway, I did mention, I think, in those videos that it had become one of my favourite lipstick formulas. and I knew that when my low buy ended that I wanted to pick up some more colours. I ended up picking up quite a few more colours across several different orders. The trouble is, NARS is sold on ASOS, so I was finding I'd buy something from ASOS and then I'd add a couple of the lipsticks onto the order, and I've ended up with 7 more NARS lipsticks. So I'll just quickly go through the shades and I'll swatch them. I think they're all mattes. The matte is, oh no, I've got one satin. Yeah, I've got one satin. The mattes are beautiful because they aren't a powdery matte. They're really comfortable, but they have the longevity of a matte lipstick. I would say the matte is probably my favourite formula out of the two, although I usually do go for a satin lipstick over a matte. But the one that I'm wearing today is Intrigue, which is this beautiful orangey red. I've worn this quite a few times. When you swatch these, they feel very waxy. I mentioned that in a video about these previously. When you put them on, they almost have a wax crayon smell and feel to them, but they just glide over the lips. They really are so silky and soft and comfortable and light. You don't feel like you're wearing anything on your lips, which is what I love about them. I have this just blotted over the top of some Carmex lip balm, otherwise it would be matte and very opaque. But they're just so comfortable, and they can sort of like, I've just, like I say, I've dabbed this over the top, but I've got full colour payoff. So that's Intrigue, which is like a beautiful tomato red colour. And then I have, this is the satin one. This is Erotic Adventure. Now this is very, very similar to the Mitsar colour from Dior, except it's perhaps a touch darker, and obviously they are different formulas. You can feel, even though this is a satin, it feels more matte than the Dior one. So that's Erotic Adventure. This is one of my favourite lipsticks. It just goes with absolutely any eye look. Then I have Pour Toujours, which is a nude. I have sort of gone off nudes a little bit, I think because I've got so many of them in my collection, but I knew I wanted sort of a good everyday nude in this formula. So that is Pour Toujours. It's like a cool toned nude. Okay, so we're down to the last 4 lipsticks, and I'm hoping my battery lasts long enough for me to finish. So the next one I have is another favourite. This is Force Special. This is a real deep sort of winterberry shade. It's a really stunning colour, but it's one of those lipsticks that you really need to be careful with the application because it's such a deep colour. It can easily go everywhere, but it's such a gorgeous shade. The next one is Damage Control. This is like a sort of a raspberry red. It's definitely more pink than red. That one, oh, it helps if I show you the lipstick. That's Damage Control. And then we have Sheap. Now this is my perfect like summer lipstick. This is a hot pink. It's a blue based pink. It's not quite as bright as Candy Yum Yum from MAC, but it is sort of in that sort of family. You can see it's definitely more pink than Damage Control. Damage Control is more of a raspberry. And then the last one is another favourite, This is just one of those lipsticks that I can just throw on with anything and it looks really nice. This is Hot Kiss. This is like a purpley nude, like a mauve nude. Awful swatch because of where I've done it, but that's it there. It's slightly cooler toned and lighter than Erotic Adventure, so that's Erotic Adventure and that one's Hot Kiss. But you can see I sort of have sort of a colour family that I like. I like reds, nudes, and then sort of like reddy pinks. So those are all the NARS lipsticks, and that brings me to the end of this collective haul. So thank you if you've watched it all the way through. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you're not already. I'm absolutely covered in makeup swatches. I will definitely be filming quite a bit more in the upcoming days, weeks and months. Really want to get back into the swing of things with filming. So yeah, thank you so much for watching this video and I love you lots. Bye.